with your host, Adam Lubin.
Hey, what's up guys? Adam here reporting from the NEC from the Gadget show live, and I'm here with
Helmut Hauser from the University of Bristol.
Oh great, so just tell me, what do you actually do then? What do you work?
We are working in robotics, we build robots. And when it's a special type of robots, we don't use metallic parts, but we use soft robotic structures like plastic, silicone, even wood and plastic.
Okay, so how long have you been working with that then?
In Bristol here, I started 1.5 years ago here in Bristol, but I work on soft robotics for the last 10 years more or less.
Okay, sounds really good.
Okay, so what we have here is called Dielectric elastomer, which is what we call smart material, which is very special in the sense that, of course, it's soft since we work in soft robotics, but the really cool thing is if you move it, you can actually generate energy. So if you move it up and down, you can see there are peaks in the current. And we plan to use it in wearables, for example, you both it in your pants, and while walking you can charge your mobile. So there's a plastic structure in the back, and what you can see is you can switch on and increase the pressure. And you can see it could help, for example, elderly people to get up from chairs, or people with health issues. Again, this could be some form of wearables. But it could be also for people who are working long hours or have to lift heavy weights. That's something that you could strap on your body and can help you with the work here.
You said this is going to be very useful for people in the medical field at all?
Yeah, medical field is definitely one way to apply it, but there are different possibilities as well. Like I said, for example, if you have to lift heavy weights, for example, or anything where you need some additional force, or on a robot, for example, it could be used as an actuator as well. So that's the same that we've seen before, where we used it to actually produce energy. But in this case, instead of producing energy, we can also put energy into the system, so we can apply voltage. And if you do that, you can see it stretches, it stiffens, or it gets softer. So we can use basically the same material as an actuator, for example, in a little worm, which moves forward to investigate tubes, for example. But in the same way, we can use it as an energy harvesting system if you just add it passively, and if you squeeze it, you can use it to produce energy. It's the same material here. Exactly, yeah. So that's Bioinspired robotics, so where we look specifically at biological systems, and they're all soft, as we are, for example. In this case, that's an octopus arm. Again, it's an artificial octopus arm made out of silicone. And it's completely passive, so you move it around, it just wiggles around. But the interesting part is, if you put it underwater, you can see actually it gets a very nice movement. It's a very natural, smooth movement. And in classical robotics, you would have to have 10 or 15 different motors at all the different positions to move it exactly like this. It would be very complicated. If you use a clever morphology, you just move it back and forward. Very simple control, and the body does the rest of it basically. That's something what we call morphological computation. That's the term that we use for that. So again, that's soft. So in the back here there's a little camera, and inside, so it's of course a black background, but a little knobs, and they're painted white. So if you move around, you can see my movement here on this little camera.
So the camera's positioned inside the black ball.
Inside, yeah. And then you can use this picture, this video, and use some algorithms basically to identify what kind of movement is going on, and therefore you can derive, for example, what kind of surface is touched. And we use it to have robots which have the same sense of touch as we do. So use it, for example, in industrial applications when you try to feel a surface, if it's smooth enough or not. A lot of times still people are used for that because robots are not able to do that. And that's one way to apply that.
So when can we expect to see more of this technology applied in more mainstream?
Well, hopefully soon. So we are a consortium of a couple of different universities. So that would be Cambridge, ETH Zurich, and then in Italy, Sant'Anna in Pisa, and Bristol Robotics. And we are actually having a EU project where we try to promote this kind of technology in the European Union. So these are all prototypes, but we hope to see in the next couple of years real applications. And we're pretty sure that for the next generations of robots, especially the ones that should be work with you at home, have to be soft because there's less dangerous, more energy efficient, and they have a lot of different capabilities that classical robots don't have. Okay, so that's what's called the coffee balloon gripper.
Yeah.
And it's literally a balloon filled with ground coffee. You can touch it, it's soft. If you, I don't know if you've, if you've bought ground coffee, it's very stiff, right?
Yeah,
because it's vacuum sealed.
Yeah.
And if you pinch it, it gets soft.
Okay.
So we use exactly this kind of principle. So we have here a vacuum pump, so we suck out all the air and it gets stiff.
Yeah.
So if I do that, for example, you can touch it. You can see it gets
really stiff, yeah.
right? And we release it, and it gets soft again.
So just based on vacuum technology, then we just suck the air out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And we can use it, for example, to pick up little things, right? So if you would use a robotic hand, it's very complex because you have to know exactly where it is, what kind of orientation. You have to have exact model, how it looks like, how soft it is, and so on. So it's very complicated to pick it up. We do it without any thinking about it, right? But the robotic hand is very complex. But you can do it with this one. You just put it on, you just suck out the air of it, and you pick it up and it's in there. You just release it, and it gets soft and it falls out again. And a very similar thing is like this one. It's the one that we've shown before with the lag, where we use, for example, as wearables. You could imagine you can have like a little gripper. Maybe you can have one of your fingers, please. Right? So what I do is now I increase the air pressure and it just moves around your finger. So that's some kind of artificial finger. You can use more fingers of yours, for example, and it just adapts itself to the object it tries to grasp itself. So there's no control, it just switch off, switch on, and the rest is done in the body. So that's an intelligent body, what we have here basically. Okay.
Oh, thank you very much. You have a great booth here, and best of luck for the future with all of this, definitely. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys.